detecting four-dimensional objects with three-dimensional senses plus light body. Detecting dimensional objects in various realms, such as one might classify as being the light body realm. One can find similarities in descriptions of objects, and we will start on the fourth dimension by describing objects which have particular types of characteristics, which are the length, width, and depth, which we know as the x, y, and z coordinates. Now, in the exploration of this other dimension, the apprentice will use the senses in their hands and to other parts of their body, but the initial exercises involve just the hands. In feeling objects in the other dimension, as it is often referred to, or the fourth dimension, one has to use much more than one's regular senses. That's why they sometimes say you have to use your sixth sense. Now, in using these other senses, these senses which are associated with light body, one has the ability to sense objects in the light body realm. And these objects don't have to necessarily be physical objects. We can call them entities for short, because in the fourth dimensional realm, the objects as such are more fluid and less confined to the material, so their associated material manifestation may not be present. So light body entities are much easier to describe than just simply objects. Objects themselves do exist in the light body realm, and they exist in many forms. And for instance, the psychic surgeon might have to remove objects in the fourth dimension that might be implanted in the patient's body. And these types of fourth dimensional objects, some are good, some are bad. Some you wonder how they even got there. It's sort of strange, and looking into the history of the light body is another type of pursuit. Reading information about the light body and the history of the light body is sometimes implanted in the aura, although that can be washed. And the Akashic records are normally accessible, but sometimes they have distortions on the local level, meaning that the person's awareness may not be truthful in coordination with the total record. So in analyzing light body objects and such, the light body technician has an ability to discern between the objects as they appear in a three-dimensional reality and a four-dimensional reality, although that may not be apparent to their physical eyes. Using the physical eyes to determine four-dimensional objects or entities is not always possible without a great amount of training or having these type of ability within, inbred to them, or inherited. So light body ability to sense entities, objects, and forces, especially forces, fields that exist in that realm, is part of the light body apprentice's training to learn how to discern these types of energies and entities. When an apprentice first takes to the light body realm, they may not recognize the difference between the attributes of a light body object that is associated with a real object. And what that means is that say a tree, they might see a tree in reality, and the light body tree is there too. Yet in certain forms it may not exist in the actual shape of a tree. It may have a different shape, such as you may see a rock, and in its light body form it may have a different type of characteristic and attributes. And it's sometimes strange that particular physical objects have light bodies and light body intelligences that are vastly different than one might associate with an actual physical body. But these things happen is that consciousness can be located and associated with places. And so when the light body apprentice is discerning between objects in the physical world and objects in the light body world, they may see differences, and these differences are what they would find interesting. And so it's you may find a guru under some of the rocks, but not all of them, of course. And there's so many grains of sand that you don't want to be chasing them in the wind. But in the overall positioning of consciousness in the physical body to detect the fourth dimensional realm, the light body of the physical body is able to place their sensors or their sensing appendages into the fourth dimension. Now this is sort of like, reaching out into something you're not quite sure of, if you're not quite sure of it, and it can be to someone like reaching into a murky pond and seeing what's down there. Maybe you'll find a slimy rock or something, but who knows what is associated consciousness with that rock, and maybe it's got light body in it and on it. And so considering that the mix of life and light in this physical world makes it so complicated that those attaining light body consciousness have to have a certain amount of discernment and curiosity. Yet curiosity to a certain degree, of course, is acceptable. But if you get too interested in going off on tangents to your consciousness, you may, who knows, find enlightenment by talking to a grasshopper, young grasshopper. Oh, but then as a light body, one is in an ability or has an ability to associate not only one's physical presence with the light body presence, but one's physical presence with the light body realm as it is in flux, and therefore the will of the light body manifester or the controller of the light body is paramount in being able to exactly pinpoint what part of that murky pond you're putting your hand into. So if you're reaching into a light body realm and you can't see your hand and you need to, then you need to be able to create the visibility in the light body realm that gives your hand the ability to manifest itself in the light body realm and within your own ocular system, be that your mind's eye, third eye, or even right in front of you with your eyes open, which is usually the preferred method for light body, advanced light body exercises of this nature. Being able to touch the light body realm or to feel those things in the light body realm is in fact gives a person an ability to influence the light body realm and those objects and entities within them. So at one point it is, it's a great thing to be able to stick your finger into the murky water, but then you don't know what, there might be a piranha in there or something. So watch out, one might say, if you don't know what's down there or out there or in there. And it's everywhere, so light body is everywhere. And as you reach into light body realm, you're reaching everywhere. And so the intention of those placing their hands into the light body realm is the key to what they will find, because the intention is involved with the consciousness, and the consciousness is the manifester of the reality in the light body realm. So what this means is that the individual apprentice could be able to take their hand in this present reality, this physical reality, reach into the light body realm with their physical hand and their light body hand, and to be able to manifest that hand in that light body realm at places and times of their desire. This is the goal of the light body apprentice, to be able to learn how to do this. And what normally this involves is a type of remote control of one's light body and one's light body abilities and one's light body consciousness, which is all connected as well. Taking this to the next step, being able to have light body manifestation in that light body realm and being controlled through the physical body gives the light body manifester or the apprentice the ability to have some effect on the light body entities. Now, in most instances in the training of psychic surgeons, that entity would be the patient or the person needing treatment. And therefore, the types of treatment involved is inherent in the reading, or what is a part of the screening or pre-screening of the patient, so which can be done instantaneously as well. But in the consciousness of the apprentice, as they go through and reach into this realm and contact the body or the light body of the patient, they are in fact contacting an entity or an object in that realm, that spirit realm, which is called light body realm or light realm. And it's also called the fourth dimension or the other dimension. And using one's talents, which are such as the sixth sense and other types of abilities to see there and do there, allows one to fulfill light body tasks. And these tasks, such as healing and communication, teaching, travel, pleasure. There's many reasons for going and doing these types of things, and that's why learning them is important, and learning to do them right is very important, as that, you don't want to be sticking your hand into the murky water with the piranhas when you're trying to do your healing work. And that's the difference.